Man, y'all really got up into your feelings and up into these comments, huh? Add chicken to the list of names that you're calling me because I have clearly ruffled some feathers. The fact that so many of you got to a point where you just had to like typey tippy tappy typey tell me what to do with myself da 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 because I made a video saying if you're going to use services, you should tip your service industry workers. It just speaks volumes and really solidifies my point. I never said that the companies like DoorDash in particular, or all the other ones that I don't even have experience using yet, I never said they didn't have the majority of the responsibility. I never said that it was the people using the service's responsibility to pay people a livable wage. I said if you're going to use the service, you should tip people because they're doing something that you don't want to do or cannot do for any list of reasons. I very much planned on making that video, but I guess we'll just go ahead and do it now based off of what I have seen. And I stand by what I said. Most of these comments are elitist at best because you think that people that have these jobs aren't as good as you for some reason. You think that they don't have an education. You think that they just are losers who have these bullshit jobs and are trying to milk everybody else because they never made something with their life. That's not true. It's the get a real job comments that I think are so fucking annoying. I have a friend in Chicago who's a bartender who clears six figures easy. Probably works 4 days a week. Back when I was a bartender, because I did it for 5 years, I would make $400 like that on a Saturday night, every Saturday night, working 1 day a week. I've also been broke as a fucking joke, lost a job, left an abusive relationship, and spent the next month sleeping on an air mattress with a hole in it, waking up on the hardwood floor while my friend was moving out of his apartment. And I also know what it feels like to make $120,000 a year because, see, I have a college education. I was the director of marketing and programming for a nightlife collective in Chicago, and I left that job in August because I quit drinking and I wanted to focus on other things rather than focusing on coming up with ways to get people into bars 7 days a week. So your comments about get a real job, get an education, it's a fucking moot point. Because this call is coming from inside the motherfucking house. Because I've sat at every seat at that table. And also, let the record show, I've been doing this for 2 weeks, and I don't plan on doing this that long. This is kind of an experiment for me. But there are people who have to do gig jobs because of whatever reason. Like I said in my last video, maybe they lost their job. Maybe something bad happened and they found themselves having to move suddenly and needed to do something to make money. Maybe they just can't support themselves or their family because of the state of the economy that we've all found ourselves in. It doesn't mean that someone is a fucking loser just because they're doing gig work. And it doesn't make me a loser who can't get a real job because I've done it for 2 weeks and said, hey, y'all should do a little bit better because there are people who are being forced to do these jobs who aren't making ends meet. And if you're going to use the service, maybe throw them some money. Now buckle in because this is really gonna grind your gears. I 100% think that these companies should be paying their folks $25 an hour. That's so much! Yeah, because if they were making 20 as a 1099 employee, having to pay taxes at the end of the year, that $20 an hour then pretty much becomes 14. After wear and tear on your car, gas, it's really like what, 11? So yeah, I think that these companies should give people a livable wage. That way tipping isn't something that they depend on. It's just something extra that encourages them to do better at their job and perform more because, hey, I can make $35 an hour if I really bust my ass. Y'all want to get up in these comments and say, well, you need to take it up with the organization. They're the crooks. They're the criminals. They should be sued. Yet you still use the service. It's like shopping at Walmart, even though you know they mistreat all of their employees because things are cheap there and it's not your problem, right? It's their problem. If they don't want to work there, then they should just get a different job. I don't make this video for me. I make this video for all the people who are fucking struggling to get by and dealing with asshole people and asshole bosses. And it's just like, this isn't going to affect me forever. But I'm going to continue calling things out like this when I notice them because this is my account. And by the way, my stuff is monetized, babe. So all these comments, like all this stuff, what that does is it puts me in your feed more. So if you don't like seeing my face, you just did yourself a disservice, babe. And furthermore, you boosting me up in the algorithm, it just translates to more money in my pocket. So by all means, get in here, comment that, call me this name, tell me that I'm stupid, tell me that I'm a loser, tell me that I don't have a real job. I have my own business, honey. I started my own company and I have multiple income streams because I have been super, super broke. And I promised myself I would never be that broke again. So you're not talking to a dummy who's begging for tips. I said what I said, and I will die on this hill. If you don't want to support the service industry, then don't use service industry services. Make your own food at home. Go pick up your own meals. Make your own cocktails and have them at your downstairs basement bar. I don't really care. But leave the people who are trying to make a living figure out how to make ends meet without having to deal with all your elitist bullshit. And if you didn't pick up on it, that's just my tip from me to you. Not that you know anything about tipping.